the latest and most anticipated addition to Yamaha's raved about MT range is finally here, the Yamaha MT10, featuring the all-conquering Yamaha Big Bang crossplane motor. Well, I say it's arrived, but it hasn't really. This is the only model in South Africa, and we have been lucky enough to come and test it exclusively here at Midvaal Racetrack. If you want to see this bike in the flesh, make sure you get down to the South African Bike Festival from the 27th to 29th of May at the new Kyalami Grand Prix circuit, to the Yamaha stand to be exact, where this baby will be displayed for the very first time for South Africans to see. The funny thing about the MT10 is that Yamaha haven't labeled it a naked R1 sports bike. It's actually a true super naked. It's got the superbike feel, but with the upright riding position and that sneaky, almost attitude kind of style. It's a real true street fighter in the sense of the word. It's got everything. The attitude just comes out to play at every opportunity. And around the Midvaal Racetrack, I actually really enjoyed the bike. Could give some superbikes a real go for their money. The new MT10 is just so much more than a naked R1. Yes, it shares the same chassis and engine, but there's actually a lot of changes. 60% of the chassis has actually been changed to give it more flex and more feel, especially for out on the road, what you want. An R1 can sometimes feel a little bit rigid out on the road, but not the MT10. It really is built to impress out on the road. And the riding position, you have business class legroom for the taller riders. It's got a beautiful throttle position. It's such an easy bike to enjoy, and one you can get yourself into some trouble with, but you've got the electronic features. Doesn't have the huge electronic package of an R1, but then again, it's 60 grand cheaper. You got your 3 modes of traction control, your 3 riding modes, and your ABS. And what more could you actually want? Okay, so it's all well and good to hear what I have to say about the bike, but I've invited Clint, Brooke along, who's your everyday rider. He's actually a bit of a hooligan, and he can do the wheelies and the endos and all the stuff that I can't really do and don't want to do, because at the end of the day, I have to pay the bills if anything goes wrong. But Clint really is the target market for this bike, so let's hear what he has to say about it. So Clint, Yamaha's new MT10, the perfect kind of bike for a rider like you out on the road, looking for a little bit of hooliganism that you can enjoy. We're out at the racetrack. I know it's not ideal for you, but your first impressions of the bike?
Very nice to ride, very comfortable, nice short wheelbase, picks up very easy, very aggressive in the high revs, which is very nice, very impressive. It's just nice to see where the technology has taken the nakeds. I mean, this can compete with a superbike. It's got all the grunt and all the power of your superbike in a street fighter style, nice and comfortable. No, very impressive. If I was to go out and buy a bike now, I'd buy an MT10.
And that's the big selling point on a bike like this. It's 50, 60 grand cheaper than a superbike, but you get the comfort factor, you get the less electronics package, but an electronics package that you can understand and it's easy to operate.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I think value for money, you can't go wrong with this. Value for money, it's actually a no-brainer to go for something like this. If you're looking for a commuter, something to go to gym and back, something to get a bit of adrenaline, but at a reasonable price, I really enjoy it. I think it's, and the looks, the aesthetics of this is very good.
What an opportunity it's been to test exclusively for the first time the new Yamaha MT10. I've come out here to Birdwell Raceway because it's really where I can get a feel for the bike. Out on the road with the traffic and that, I can't really test the bike. I've come here to Midvaal, and let me tell you, this bike has really surprised me. Believe it or not, I actually hold the lap record around the Midvaal Racetrack back in 2007. And this bike, I could run some really impressive times. I could steer the bike wherever I wanted to, and that 60% change in the chassis that they spoke about, giving it more flex and feel, definitely. Even out on the track, I could feel the bumpy surface here at Midvaal, which a lot of superbikes battle with. The MT10 just ate it up. So overall, a big thanks to Yamaha South Africa for letting us ride the only one in the country, and they'll be glad to know that we're giving it back to them in one piece, and it'll be at the South African Bike Festival, 27 to 29 May at Kyalami Grand Prix circuit.
After the break, Timothy Hay and friends begin this year's journey to the roof of Africa. We'll be back right after this.